Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. This week, we watched the In Your House, The Revenge of the Taker pay-per-view, which is just a ridiculous title that I was not expecting.
No, because we didn't know before we watched.
No,
We were
'cause
like,
I
I guess they
didn't-
just didn't give this one a name, and then we went to watch it. And we were like, oh,
Okay.
sure,
All right. Love
I'll
it.
take
Love
it.
it. We love a revenge plot.
Oh,
So the match card is as follows. We had the Hart Foundation taking on the Road Warriors for the WWF Tag Team Championship. We had Rocky Maivia taking on Savio Vega for the Intercontinental Championship. Jesse James takes on the Honky Tonk Man protege Rockabilly. Undertaker takes on Mankind for the WWF Championship. And in our highly anticipated continuation of this feud, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin taking on Bret Hitman Hart. My name is Xavier Cruz, if you don't know, and this is my co-host Kelsey Silva. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I know we've been
yeah.
on quite the ECW tangent as of late, but we are kind of back on course, and it was a necessary detour in our education. It had to happen.
Oh, for sure, without a doubt. Especially after we talked to Woody, like I felt like we were really in a good pocket to like be in ECW land, and I always want to be there.
I get
And
it.
yeah, and my blood pressure needed a break from WWE, and it's good because when we came back there were so many things that enraged me this episode. It was good that I took a break for my health.
No,
And it's
I do
funny when
understand.
ECW is a break for your health because it's also so insane.
Because it is typically quite the opposite. maybe not as a viewer, but definitely as a participant.
For sure. Oh my god, love ECW so much. But so happy to be back in your house.
Oh, in your house. Taker's
Okay.
Revenge.
All
Dun,
right.
dun, dun.
Period.
So first, the pay-per-view opens up with quite the montage vignette kind of situation. It really encompasses the entire Mankind Undertaker feud.
It was so good.
It was really intense. It was like almost like a horror movie trailer kind of situation.
For sure.
I say that, but I also say it does sound a little bit like they found the like one of those like sound effect keyboards.
Fully. And now and there it's
really
like too
committed.
much. It's one of those things where it's like you're supposed to take off one accessory before you leave the house.
Yes.
It's like remove one sound bite before you send in the montage final, because it was a lot. There was lions roaring, there was birds,
there was creaky steps, there was like
screaming, babies
we stopped
crying.
just short of like a slide flute. Could you imagine like the Undertaker like rises up and just like whoop? So good.
Wait, somebody please make that. I would die. There's a master compilation of like Undertaker coming up and going whoop, and then like rewinding and going
Okay, I'm on it.
Please, okay, Xavier, use your skills for good, please.
Oh my god, that's fantastic.
What a rush.
Speaking of excellent transition.
I do what I can.
So we have our tag team championship match. We gotta get a smidge of a recap. You know, the slopping of the Legion of Doom. I like that. Sounds like a comic book episode.
No, for the slopping of the Legion of Doom, first of all, is a great album name for any bands out there. Like it's a really good, like long one that's like the slopping of LOD. Love to see it. It's a great, the slopping just as a word is delightful to the ear in the worst way. Like slopping.
The slopping.
The sloppinator. Like it's just a lot. Like it's just a lot.
Sorry, that like shook me. I don't know why.
Good. Okay, great. It had the effect we were looking for.
So in this one, we have obviously the Legion of Doom makes their way out. They're shredded as per usual, face paint to the nines, doing their thing. The Hart Foundation comes out to the Hart Foundation music, which is just Bret the Hitman Hart's music,
which I love though.
Just in a like show of unity. We haven't really seen it before. I mean, like they're only very recently reformed, so they're kind of making the steps to be more of a like a proper faction, you know, all the ducks
Mhm.
in a line, everybody's on the
Mhm.
same page, we all got the
Mhm.
same music, and probably tights. Who knows what's coming next?
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
It's gotta be.
Shout out to Owen for taking all of the time in the world to delicately place his slammies on the ring steps. He just everyone's literally just waiting for this man to to like put them down so that we can get this started. He's just like, no, they're so beautiful and gold. I gotta make sure they're pretty. And you're like, okay.
It's just gotta make sure they're sitting sturdy. And also again, stolen. Not even really his Slammies,
Stolen,
but
not
he
even
takes care of
his.
them like they are his children. It is
No,
really
actually,
something
he is
to behold.
looking after them like he is in like I don't know, 11th grade home ec and he's got a flower baby. Like it
Oh,
is it is
yeah.
that.
Love to see
um
it.
So, this match is super competitive as we knew it was going to be. We know that. Oh, giggles.
I'm sorry. Oh my god,
Uh,
I was thinking about how I was looking at my notes and I was just thinking about how Jerry or JR just randomly out of the blue just called Jerry stupid.
oh my god, yeah, Jerry.
I don't even
Or I'm sorry,
remember the
Jr. really
context.
came for. I don't know if they had like a tiff or something before then we went on the air, but Jr. was coming for
He
Jerry's
was
neck
cooking with
today.
gas tonight. And
Oh.
I sorry, I looked down at my notes to remind myself where we were, and then I was just like, sorry.
So this match is super competitive as we knew it would be. Of course, we have Owen, the the technician of the match, and then everyone
Mm,
else is pretty much just a ball
bang
of meat.
bang.
Like so, um,
They're meatballs
yeah, like that for I immediately think of
of Snooki.
yes, it is a meat. It's uh you can take the boy out of Jersey, can't
Oh, you
take
can't
the
take it.
Jersey
Swear
out
to
of the
God, a
boy.
cultural movement. Don't even get
Uh,
me started.
so since we've already kind of cracked Pandora's box on that one, JR at some point in the match just goes to Jerry. He's like, "I'm surprised you can put a sentence together." Like fully just like let his whole job is speaking and you go, "I'm shocked that you can speak." That's crazy.
And it was just like random. Like Jerry was literally just saying something. It wasn't even that heinous or mean. And
Mm.
JR was just like, "Oh, I'm surprised you can even speak the English language, you dummy." Like
And
it
then
was like kind of like that energy. It was so crazy.
yeah, and then Jerry like retorts back, just like making fun of Oklahoma, you know, that like low blow kind of situation.
Hmm.
And he makes fun of that stupid giant 10-gallon hat that JR is always wearing. It's like, go to town. All right, sure. But
Hmm.
JR was not gonna let that go. He's like, yeah, there's a lot of grown men that walk around wearing crowns. That's normal. And you're just like, yikes. I was like, so sorry,
So
Jerry. I did not expect you to get scalped today.
I didn't know. I
Like,
would if I knew your funeral was gonna be today, I would have worn something. I would have brought flowers or something, just
I would
so
have definitely picked
unprepared.
a darker color
Oh
palette
yeah,
for
I would have
sure.
been a little bit, a little more in mourning. I don't know,
More
but
more reserved, you
yes,
know.
rest in peace though. You know,
Mhm.
it was nice to know you.
This match was just generally a lot like slower than I thought it was going to be, like as far as like
Yeah.
pacing goes. Not like it was like boring in any way, just that it was like every move was very like thought out. It felt
Mm.
very deliberate.
Yeah, I will say it's nice to see two tag teams who are so in sync wrestle together, like because
Yeah.
LOD is so in sync together, and then Owen Hart and Bulldog are so in
Uh-huh.
sync together, and to see that was delightful. Like there really wasn't any like miscommunications, so to
Mm,
speak, like where it's
right.
like I was gonna do this and you were gonna do that, and like I don't know. I just it's nice to see like two such strong tag teams wrestle
Yes,
together.
I agree.
Like I again like the tag team chapter of WWE is building and growing and getting like more engaging, and I do love to see it. I
I
do
do.
love to see it.
Mhm, mhm. And it's like it really goes to show like just as far as like the like little moments in the match, um, that you can only really have if you've been like a team for such a long time.
Right.
Like both pairs have just been like together forever.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So like we knew going into it that it was really going to be like it was really a toss up as far as like which way this was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Just because both teams are so strong. We do get this one point in the match where the Legion of Doom knocks Owen Hart out of the ring, and then they proceed to basically do a power slam on the British Bulldog from the top rope, and then they pin the British Bulldog. Caveat, so they pin, the bell actually rings, their
Girl,
music is going off, they are literally handed the titles.
I was
They're
losing it.
they're out here celebrating. We were like, because in our mind, we like it. The pinfall happened, and we were both just like, "Wait, now?" Like I thought it was going to be a much more of a thing.
It
Turns
shook
out
me.
it was. But a second referee comes into the ring, and he's like, and then they're like, doing their little thing, and it's all of a sudden announced that the Legion of Doom has pinned the wrong person. So the match has to continue, and it kind of seems like the British Bulldog and Owen are like, "I'm good on that, thank you, though. I'm just gonna take my
Yeah.
title and go." Um,
Which, like, they were gonna just, like, take the L and leave. Like, I don't it was just weird. Like, I don't know. It was shocking to say the least. This has never happened on this podcast history where someone literally wins, is given the title belts, and suddenly they're like, "Oh, ladies and gentlemen,
mhm,
my bad." They
right,
pin the non-active participant,
participant, yeah,
which is crazy. I was like, they cannot be serious. Like, they cannot be. I was so thrilled because I was literally thinking in my mind, I was like, I said this forever ago. I was like, I'm so curious as to who's gonna dethrone Bulldog and Owen as like the tag
right,
team champions because they've just been on a roll. Like they've been out here living. And I
mhm,
was like, wow, I cannot like, yes, I want it to be LOD, duh.
right,
But like I was shocked it happened that way. And then suddenly it was like JK, like pin the
mhm,
wrong man, and you have 10 seconds to get back in here or you forfeit the titles. And they
right,
ran
ran,
ran in,
mm,
made it in with the last, like, on count 8.5, like, they
no,
barely made it.
literally.
So
Um,
crazy.
so the match continues. Although I will say you do hear just the camera picks up like a quick audio of Owen as he's like yelling like that after the like the decision of the matches like reverse. He's like, "Give me my title belts!" like you
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
him just
yeah.
be like, "Give me my titles," and you're
Gimme.
like, "Oh," I was like, "Relax,
I love
relax."
him.
So the match must continue. Um, at one point, Animal has the Bulldog basically pinned, but
Mhm.
Owen is distracting the referee in the corner, so no one sees that coming. And
Mm.
while the referee's trying to like figure out that whole rigmarole, Bret Hart makes his way down looking like a schnack, and
Mm.
just to help out his homies, and that is that on that. Because as soon as Bret enters the ring and attacks the Legion of Doom, the disqualification is called, so the Legion of Doom win the match anyway, but they don't get to walk away with the titles, which,
Irritating.
as we know, is really the Hart Foundation way as far as the tag team championships goes.
It's so
Because
true.
more often than not, it ends with the opponent winning the match and not
Not the
leaving with the
belts.
titles. So
You're
I
so
will,
right.
yeah, I will say this is probably the most like is unwinningest combination of like a tag team champion that I've ever seen, probably, because they lose a
A
lot.
lot. A lot,
Yeah.
actually, yeah. That's so
So
true. They
yeah.
they defend the titles, but, like, not really. Like,
Right.
they always keep them, but,
Hmm.
like, in not a great
Right.
not the way you want people to defend the titles, like, we'll just leave it at that. I
Right.
mean,
Right. Right. But
yeah,
again,
I mean, it is their way. They're nothing if not on brand.
no,
They're nothing
exactly.
if
It is.
not on
It is a
brand. That is
very.
the way.
It
If
is
they
a
won a
very.
clean match, I'd be shocked.
We'd all be shocked, especially now that they are a like heel faction, like for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
imagine a heel faction, they have, like, a beautifully clean match. It's just like, "We, winners all."
Yeah, and it's like, it would throw everybody off, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So this pay-per-view is basically like fraught with backstage interviews.
Oh,
They really
yeah.
had they used everybody. It was Doc, it was Kevin Kelly, it was even some rando I've never even seen before. It was
Lance.
definitely from Boston. Like like
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he had like the thick. I was like, is that Matt Damon? Like, what is this? Like, I'm confused.
Swear. He almost said
Um,
Ka. Like, he was so close.
uh,
I
uh,
don't know, but we were like,
Fucked. I was like, that's a mass hole. We've seen it.
"Mm, mhm, I know her."
Mhm,
I
mhm,
kind of
mhm.
love her. I'm a little scared of her.
Exactly. All of the above.
Mhm.
So he is interviewing the tag team champions. Basically, he calls them lucky for having come away with that whole situation. And Owen goes off. He's like, no, we're not lucky. We beat them fair and square. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, obviously, we are just so talented that we came away with the win. I don't understand why you're insinuating that we would need to rely on luck. That's crazy. He just switches to that like gaslighter supreme like
I love him
immediately.
so much.
Um,
He is so funny.
and then uh they find out that Stone Cold arrives during their match into the building, and Owen's like, no, he didn't. Like, he's like, for some reason, just like shook, as if he didn't know that his brother was like facing him. He's like, he
It's
came
outrage.
here, like he showed
He
up to
came to
work
his job,
today.
yeah.
And you're like, okay, Owen, why are you hooting and hollering?
Like,
And,
what'd
and
you
then
do?
he's like,
Cut his brakes and you're shocked he made it? Like, I'm so
fully. And
confused.
he's like, are you sure? Like, there's a lot of bald guys walking around. You better make sure. And you're like, yes,
It's
because
so good.
I know you should. It's absurd.
It's so funny. But
Uh,
they were like, one of my favorite scenes in television ever is That's So Raven, where she's on the phone and she's like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. And like her dad's like, Ray, get off the phone. And she's like, okay, okay. He didn't do it, girl. Bye.
he didn't do it, girl. Bye. Oh,
And that's literally the energy it gave is like, no, he didn't. He did it. And then he's like, no, he's full here. And they're like, no, he's not. Bye. And
yeah,
leave.
no,
And it's like,
no. He's like,
what?
it was basically just like, I don't like that. Moving on.
Yeah. Ew. Bye.
Yeah.
He didn't do
So
it, girl. Bye.
Uh, and then that is followed by what is probably the most uncomfortable 30 seconds of television that I've seen in a while, because
And
it is
that's saying
just
something.
Sunny and Brian Pillman advertising the superstar line, call the wrestlers, talk, basically the superstar line, for those of you who don't know, it's basically like call a porn star, but it's call a wrestler, and they charge you by the minute, and you get to ask wrestlers questions. um
What's happening? Not call a porn star. There were so
oh,
many other things.
whatever, the like phone sex lines, they run exactly the same. They are overcharging you by the minute to talk to some strangers. And you honestly, I'm sure they don't, but like, how the hell do you know that the person on the other line is who you think you're talking to?
I honestly, that is so true. Like, you really think you got in touch with the Undertaker? I don't know, girl.
I mean, like, maybe you did. I mean, I'm sure they weren't scamming people. I'm not trying to be like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
but
like,
still.
I'm just saying, I'm paranoid. I'd be like, prove it. Like,
No,
like,
swear
give
to
me
God, it's your documentation. FaceTime me right now.
no, ugh,
But meanwhile,
1997.
over at ECW, they have actual wrestlers on the phone moonlighting as normal people.
And lying about
The
it.
total opposite. What is it, like Lloyd Van Buren or whatever
Yes,
Stevie
Lloyd
Richards'
Van
name was?
Buren. Amazing.
Whatever. Anyway, so good.
Honestly. So next we have the Intercontinental Championship match between Rocky Maivia and Savio Vega. Savio Vega comes out first. He gets the nation treatment. The nation treatment. There, all 18 of them come out. The two are hooting and hollering into the mic. Kevin Kelly has a backstage interview with Rocky, and basically he's just like asked to address his like shortcomings in the last couple of weeks as far as the nation is concerned. Basically, he's like, I've accomplished a lot in the last 6 months. The past is the past. If I lose my title today, I still, did more than most in my short time here. Which
Mm-hmm.
is, fine, but it doesn't really stir me to be like, he feels like he's gonna win, like he's just
Right.
like,
He says like Lady Luck's been on my side and hopefully she still will be, but even if she's not, Savio Vega, you're in for a hell of a fight. Which is like,
yes. Mm-hmm.
all right. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it
Yeah,
wasn't like I wasn't like
I wasn't like moved,
right, right. It's
I
just
wasn't
like,
like
okay.
hype all of a sudden. Um,
It is so crazy that he is the Intercontinental Champion
I
still.
know.
Not I don't mean that to like diss him or whatever, but it's just like it is kind of crazy. Like, again,
Yes.
and I've talked about this already and we don't need to get into it, but the fact that like they were beefing over the title for so long and it was back and forth and crazy with Mark Miro and Mr. Perfect and Triple H and like it was this whole insane thing.
Right.
And then suddenly just Rocky just takes it. Triple H is like, bye, girl. And then like
Mm-hmm.
now it's like kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. And
But
apparently I looked up the card before we started so that I wouldn't have to like be furiously scribbling while we're watching.
mhm.
But um Triple H and Goldust had a match on this, but it was just a dark match, so it wasn't televised. Like it wasn't even like on there. So
But that's what I want to
they
see.
continued their feud, but like we didn't get to see it. So like I'm wondering if maybe we'll get it on Monday Night Raw or something. Like I don't
They
know.
better.
I want to know what's going on. Hello? I was like,
Hello?
we got China now. Marlena's been MIA for a minute now.
My poor
Goldust
baby.
is slowly but surely just like becoming actual dust if he keeps taking these beatings. Like I
That's
can't.
so true. Yeah, Goldust needs a win real bad,
Hmm.
actually.
No, literally.
That's so sad.
I have a note that just says Vince used brouhaha seriously, and that I just need it just on somewhere that he said that.
Mm.
And when was the last time you've used like not used that phrase? Like I can't imagine you've ever, but like when was the last time you've heard that phrase outside of here?
I honestly, nothing comes to mind. I feel like a television show or as a joke or
Brouhaha. I don't know why. It really
brouhaha.
like pulled me out of the moment. I was like, brouhaha, get out of here.
Brouhaha. What do you mean,
Yeah, it was weird.
Vincent?
So the match is honestly kind of it's fine. It's fine. But it takes a backseat to Farouk coming out on commentary. So
Yeah.
Farouk comes out just all leather head to toe. He
Mm-mm.
no, yeah, he fully I was like, okay, dominatrix, go to town. And like so he's still suffering from his separated shoulder, so he's not wrestling today. He's got his dogs, as he described them, to
Mm-mm.
do his dirty work for him, but he does elaborate a little bit more on the challenge that he
Thank
threw out
God.
in South Africa because we were big confused.
It
Big
was
confused.
this, yeah, because Ahmed tried to do it, didn't make sense. Then Farouk tried to say it, still didn't land. So finally they were like, just get this man a mic and please put him in a stationary position so he can explain for the
What
love
this
of
is,
God. Yeah,
right? So that we can actually have the match.
you can
So
understand.
essentially, Farouk has challenged Ahmed Johnson to compete in what is essentially like a gauntlet match, which is just taking on all three members of the Nation of Domination in succession.
Hmm.
Or they say like one night. I don't know if it's going to be like back to back to back. Typically that's how they do those things. It's just like one right after the other, right after the other. Um, but the stipulation is that if Ahmed Johnson somehow makes his way through all three of the members of the nation that actually wrestle, then Farouk will uh, disband the nation, take the nation somewhere else. The nation will cease to exist. So that's now we are
The
caught up to speed.
gist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So interesting. Imagine him taking it somewhere else. I'm gonna take the town and push it somewhere else.
no, literally.
That's what it gave.
Uh,
Like, because he's not taking, like, where's he going? Like, I don't know. It was just like, where are you gonna take it?
Right. I was like,
The
"Are you taking
WCW?
all these people with you?" Like, nah, yeah, as if.
And then he was like, you're gonna fight all the members of the nation. And then it was just like Savio, Crush, and then me. And it's like,
Right.
right, that's all you guys have.
Right,
Right.
right, right.
I
Yeah,
forgot.
all of these people are just might as well just
Ancillary, yeah.
yeah, they're just air. Just air walking around.
There's bodies. There's
um
bodies that other bodies get thrown into when the time is right.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
Really
Um
crazy.
Farouk is on commentary and he goes, "I believe he's idiot enough to accept the challenge." And
Yeah.
I was just like,
Honestly, amazing.
yeah, I was like, "All right, that's fair." I was like, "Go to town."
It was such a
Um
read. Because like he basically is like Vince is like, well, who in their right mind would do that challenge? He goes, an idiot. And I think Ahmed is an idiot, so he's gonna do it. Like
mhm,
he's a fool. He's an
right.
absolute fool, so he'll probably accept, which is
Right.
honestly like hysterical. Like
Right.
I love that. Like
So funny.
what a read. Such a good one.
So Farouk then goes on to just be like, getting in the same ring with Ahmed is lowering my standards. And you're like, Jesus, well, you have been in the ring with him a lot. So
So you
those
apparently
standards
like to
must be
slum it.
pretty low. That's what I'm saying. I was like, you're saying this now as if you haven't like just been all up in this man's face
Have
for
you, have
months
you,
and months and months.
as if
Like,
you haven't been in the swamp. Like,
that's
what
what
are
I'm
you talking about? You
saying.
had a whole street fight
No,
with
yeah,
him and his
fully.
friends, and you're telling me now your standards are going to be lowered?
Okay. I was like, to where?
Eh,
I was like, to where? I was like, are we limboing under that bar? I think not. like like the slide flute. I can't. Um
Watch me, don't play with me. Watch me come here with a slide flute next week because
it's just
the
so
commitment to
inspired,
the bit is too
too
severe.
strong. I know. So uh Rocky goes to have like a pin attempt at some point in the match. D'Lo is on the corner just hooting and hollering, distracting the referee, and that allows um Savio Vega to knock Rocky out of the ring, knocking him into Crush. Crush proceeds to heart punch Rocky on the outside of the ring, and all the while Farouk is just like, what are you talking about? Like interference. They're just standing there. Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't like, just being real dumb about it. Um, so Rocky is counted out. So this is basically the same scenario as the last match. Savio Vega wins the match, doesn't win the title. Um, what is a little interesting is after the match, we got some heat between Savio and Crush, and so much so that Farouk has to remove himself from commentary. And he's like, "No, I gotta pull some rank right now." And you're like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, um, I love to see it. I love dissension
Hmm.
in the ranks. It makes me happy.
Hmm. I love to see the girls fight.
I really, really do. I love that scenario always. I don't know. I love a tag team breaking up. um,
I love to watch him break up.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Farouk orders the nation to attack The Rock. All 18 members of them are out there.
I love
Ahmed
that's how he
Johnson,
breaks up the fight. He's like, "No, don't fight each other. Just beat up that guy." And they're
right?
like, "All right."
Sick. Yeah, you're
Just
like,
okay.
all right.
Okay.
Um, Farouk orders the nation to attack. Ahmed Johnson saves the day, coming out just like an all red tracksuit kind of situation. I was like, go off, sir.
So
Um,
cute.
and then he grabs the mic and accepts the challenge. He's like, you know what? I am dumb enough. He's like, he addresses it. He's like, you know what? I heard you call me crazy or whatever. And he's like, you're right. He's like, you're absolutely correct. I accept. And you're like, go to town.
No
Go.
man walking around in the locker room all the time with a 2x4 and just running out guns a-blazing every time someone needs his defense from the Nation of Domination is sane.
Right.
So yes, he is crazy enough to take this challenge. Honestly, it
Right.
was great. I'm
I
calling me
agree.
crazy. Guess what? I am. I accept.
He's like, congrats. You were
Love to
correct.
love to see it. I
I
love
was like,
it.
let's
I love
let's
it.
find out what that actually means.
I love it. So good.
So after that, we get a backstage interview with Doc and Sable, with Mark Miro, and
Mm,
really, it is I don't I love the way that this is presented because it really is Sable's interview and Mark Miro's just standing behind
just
her,
there.
and it really is she just is the bigger star, and I love it. I live for it.
By a long shot. And then he literally, like, Doc is like, it's the two-time Slammy winner,
Mhm.
1997 Miss Slammy, Sable, blah, 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 blah. And Mark Miro,
Mhm.
live.
Live. I
Live.
live for that. And she takes her moment. She says, like, she thanks the fans. She's like, I had a
My
great year
fans.
last year, but honestly, we're just getting started. She's like, wait till I get cooking. And I'm like, in my head, I'm just like, you haven't even started cooking?
You haven't even started
You came
cooking.
out in that little itty bitty bikini, and you haven't even started yet. And
The
she
oven's
hasn't.
not even
She
on.
hasn't. She
She
hasn't.
hasn't?
I'm telling you, we have not even seen anything in regards to Sable.
that thrills me on a level that I cannot express because she is everything to me. She's everything to me. I can't wait to see how, again, it's like, I know we're just entering the Attitude Era. Like, I know we're just scratching the surface of like what's coming. And I just like, it's so crazy because I just don't even know. I don't even know how we can go, where we can go, I'm just so thrilled.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be great.
So
So
exciting.
this leads into a pretty integral part of the show, because in the background, for some reason they're conducting this interview in front of a men's
The
bathroom. Like,
I
okay,
was just gonna say that. What are we doing?
okay, as somebody who like works in like media, you are never, ever, ever going to do anything in front of a bathroom. There is there is nothing
Thank
that
you.
ruin an interview faster than the sound of someone's like excrement being flushed. Like no one no one wants that. It's not a good look, it's not a good sound, it's not a good visual. Like
Not excrement.
like, um, that's what it is. That's what it is.
I know, but it's
It's like, did I have to use that word?
the
No.
word. I love the word. No, it's a good word. It just your brain is just so beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. So while they're standing in front of the bathroom having this interview, we see Stone Cold walk into the bathroom, and you're like, all right, whatever. And then all of a sudden, there's just clanging, like just banging, like
Screaming, yelling.
just hooting and hollering happen all up in this bathroom. And then in the most like cartoonish exit I've ever
Mm-mm.
seen, you just
Mm-mm.
see Owen and the bulldog just run out with just like crowbars and things. They like stop, like they literally exit the bathroom, see that they're on camera, they're like and just keep going. And you're like, okay.
Like unbelievable. It was like Swiper swiped Dora's backpack.
No,
Like I
actually, swiper, no swiping. And he's like,
Swiper no swiping.
it's just absurd. I was like, oh, and no beating. Oh, and no beating.
Oh my god. And it was like a clown car coming out of that bathroom because like Stone Cold goes in, but like Bulldog, Owen, Earl, and like everyone comes out and is
Right.
like, there's an emergency. Like it was just so crazy. Earl, I love Earl. He has no time to mince any words. Like
Mm-mm.
Sable and Mark Miro like run for the hills. Doc is like, "What's going on? I don't know what's going on here in the bathroom." La la la. Earl
Right.
comes out and Doc's like, "Earl, what's going on?" And he's like, "I don't got time to talk to you. Like Stone Cold is injured. I gotta go get help." And
Oh my
dips.
God.
Love that guy.
Mm.
Love
Love
that
it.
guy.
Love it.
Energy.
So more to come on that later. So in our next match, we get a continuation of another feud that's been going on. It is Jesse James taking on Rockabilly,
Mm-mm.
the artist formerly known as Billy Gunn. Um I feel like every time we have to engage in a segment with the Honky Tonk Man, it is truly just so much effort. It's just so much effort
Mm.
to watch. It's so much effort to understand.
I hate it.
Um, Jesse James comes out and just serenades us with another rendition of Alone with My Baby Tonight, which I as it was like playing, I was just like lyrically, this is the weirdest intro song for a wrestler to come out to. Like what? Why is this man out here singing this like weird love song? Um
Oh my god.
when it's not even like a love song. It's literally just like I can't wait to be alone with my like we know what the song is about, but it's just like why is that the song you're like that
That's the
encapsulates
one.
me as a wrestler. I'm gonna go out there. And you're like, sure, Jan, sure.
It
Like,
really asks more questions than it answers. Like
right,
it's like I can't wait to get this match over with so I can go home and like, be with my sweetie. Like I don't know.
right. And you're just like, okay. And like I don't know why it's never occurred to me until like this moment. Like
I will say the song was like really songing. Like, if that makes sense. Like,
It sounded
for
like a song
some
today, yeah.
it's for some reason it like wasn't as background
Mm,
arbitrary as it normally it felt very like this is a song that he's performing tonight. Like, I don't
right.
know. It was more
I think it
present
was,
than it normally is.
yeah, and part of it was like the lighting, like they did a little bit of extra with, you see like the music
Yeah.
notes in the ring
They
and
had the
like,
girlies singing like they were like panning to people singing in the crowd.
right. Which I mean, like, couldn't be me when I was
No,
there.
I would
But
like if they banned us, we would have been like,
no, like I would have been just
I can't even.
like in the most petty way, just trying to do like it, like just anything I could do to show that I was not pleased with this. Like, I
Just
was
like
just like just mean, no, yeah, just mean mugging. Just,
I do this thing. I think that you do it too. I definitely do this thing when like I go out to a club or like whatever, and the DJ is between songs and I can't figure out where they're going. I'm literally just standing there like,
no, same. Yeah, no, we
and I'm
both do
like,
this a lot,
and
actually.
then like if I know it, then I'm like,
Right, because we were just subjected to this like when you were here, because
yeah,
we are the DJ that was, okay, we're going on a sidebar, but like come with us. So the DJ that was playing was just like, for some reason, like, songs need to just like go into each other, like
into
they
each
just,
other.
you need a quicker transition. There was just something about like the song played like almost in its entirety, and then there was like a weird like overlay where both songs were playing at the same time, and unless you have ADHD, like that was just maddening. And
Hmm.
like, which I do, so it wasn't like the worst, but I could hear both songs in their
And you're like,
entirety, and I'm just like like I can't.
at one point I was standing there like, and you go, it's Justin Bieber. And I was like, oh.
I'm with you, I'm with you.
I was like, okay, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my God,
so
so
fun.
funny. Stupid,
And thanks for
stupid,
coming on
stupid.
our side
Our
quest.
tangent, sorry.
No, no, please. So the honky tonk man comes out and to just tease his new man for a couple more minutes. He really is just like trying to show off his like. It feels like very beardy, you know, like it feels like he's just like trying to like, he's like, look what I have, look, I'm with somebody, see, it couldn't be me, I'm with somebody, like somebody likes me, you know, like it's just very
Oh
like
my God.
very
It
beardy.
really
Like,
does. Super beardy. Oh
um
no.
yeah.
That's horrible.
Um
What a sin.
so and then we find out that the person is just Billy Gunn, which we're super confused about because he being Billy Gunn punched the honky tonk man in the face like 2 weeks ago, and we thought that was that on that. And when
Mm-mm.
he is asked about it, he uses the creepiest phrase I've heard, and that's saying something because I've
This
listened
is
to
really
years of
horrible.
Jerry the King Lawler. So he goes,
Mm.
"Persistence tears down resistance."
Ew.
Yikes.
Canceled.
Don't like. My favorite part of this entire match is Jesse James clotheslines Billy Gunn from the ring apron onto the floor, and he just so happens to land like basically like at the feet of the honky tonk man, and he just points to him. He's like, "You're next," and you're like,
But like loud. He was like,
loud.
"You're next." And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
just Jenny. He's really like climbing the ladder of my heart. He really is. He's getting back in there. He
yeah, I
he
get
makes me
it.
so mad with that intro, and then he comes back and like, and then he dances and he goes back down a little
No,
bit.
yeah, I was just gonna say, I was,
Yeah.
I as we get into this match, um, I would be remiss if we didn't make note of the weird butt thing that Billy Gunn was doing. It was like it it was a dance, I guess.
No.
Um
Mm-mm.
generous. I
It was
don't
getting
know.
sand out of your crotch.
Yeah, yeah. It was just like a very like itchy looking move. And at one point it just like neither of them could like complete a move without like doing a dance move first, and it's just like, I didn't ask for bootleg Bring It On.
Thank
It's
you
not what I
so
wanted. Like
much.
I was
I
not trying to like get into Step Up. Like that
I
wasn't that wasn't what I signed up for when I turned on the wrestling pay-per-view.
if I want
Um
to watch Step Up, I'll turn it on. but I turned this on, and why am I here?
It's it is. I literally have a note that just says, "Billy, please stop." Like, please stop. like,
Like, he can hear you, please.
enough.
Stop.
I was like, it's it's like the first white guy at the party before he's drunk. There is just no coordination. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I have to say it is literally like 10,482 degrees in my apartment right now, and I'm too hot to be shown something so disappointing. I was
I
so
agree.
enraged. I am so disappointed in you showed me rockabilly while there's
Rockabilly.
sweat dripping down my back. I'll kill you. Like I
I will end
I
you.
am so furious at Billy
Mm.
Gunn. I am okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so mad at this because the way they could have just gone with the Billy Gunn versus Bart Gunn, like gone back with some sort of like dark version of the smoking guns and made that a whole thing. Like I'm into that. I always want to see the family feud. Like I
Right.
always want
And we
that.
just dropped it. We just dropped
We
it.
just literally I'm sorry, I know I've talked about this 100 times. Bart literally temporarily paralyzed his own brother. The wives were in the ring screaming, and we just like let that story flop, and we went with rockabilly. I'm
Mm.
outraged.
Oh,
I'm disgusted.
I
I'm
agree.
furious.
Mhm.
Why? Same hair, same fit, basically, except
It
for
is
a
the same thing.
jacket.
He just added a rhinestone like jacket.
I'm so angry.
Mhm.
And I almost forgave Billy Gunn for all his past trespasses.
I
And here he goes
almost.
trespassing again. What's wrong with you? I'm
Mm.
irritated.
So ridiculous. But Jesse James wins with a just surprise small package, gets the better of Rockabilly, and that's that on that.
I hate that we have to
Um,
call him Rockabilly. I hate it.
I,
Canceled. Hate it.
I boo.
Tomato. I hate it.
Um, so uh, basically that's the end of the match. Essentially, Honky Tonk Man tries to like sneak up and get like a guitar shot on Jesse James, as just to give him his receipt, but he, being Jesse James, sees it, gets out of the way, moves on. That's
Mm,
that on that.
mm-mm.
I love that they made this whole hubbub of the Honky Tonk Man's star search and all, like, for weeks. No, months. He's been on
Mm-hmm.
commentary just showing up, shit talking everybody else, and he has the unmitigated gall to go rockabilly.
No. No. Oh. Oh my God. I can't. I hate it so much.
um,
I hate it so, so much.
yeah. Moving on, we have a backstage segment. Gross. We have a backstage segment with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kevin Kelly. Essentially, Stone Cold's licking his wounds after the assault in the bathroom, and Gorilla Monsoon's there, and Kevin Kelly's just asking, like, "Are you even like good to compete right now? Because you just got your ish rocked." And he's like, "I told Bret Hart he'd have to kill me to keep me
I
away,
love him
so they're
so
gonna have to
much.
try a little bit harder if they think that they're gonna take me out of the picture." And
Love.
he's like, Kevin Kelly's like, "You turned away like medical attention." He's like, "I don't need medical attention." He's like, "Bret Hart's gonna need medical attention. I don't need medical attention."
I love him.
So good.
He has an
And
answer for everything.
for everything. And he then proceeds to be like, if he wants to bring his whole family and his fat father out, and we're gonna
That
killed me. I was like, okay.
not my
Um,
fat fat.
which is just absolutely bonkers. Just
Not Stu. Unbelievable. Leave Stu alone.
and also like not he isn't, but like sure.
He's
Uh
not yet. Oh my
he's just an
God.
old guy. But just Stone Cold just riffing, so it's
So
hilarious.
great. Yeah. It took me off guard.
Honestly.
So out of
And then
pocket.
we are immediately followed with a um another backstage segment with the Hart Foundation with Lance Wright. that's the mass hole we were referring to earlier. Basically, they're asked about like assaulting Stone Cold, and they had the ever tried and true kindergarten response of he started it.
Fully.
Just fully, he started it,
He
wasn't
started
me.
it.
And you're
Mm-hmm.
like, you're 35 men. So
Yeah,
like,
men, and you're laying in wait in the bathroom. What are you guys
so
doing in
crazy. And
there?
then they asked them what they were doing in the bathroom. Like, we were celebrating our win. And like everyone like you were doing what in the bath?
Celebrating. Define that, please.
Yeah, break that down for
Details.
me.
Celebrating in
Mm,
the bathroom.
with your brother-in-law.
Hmm. Earl's
Weird.
in there too?
That's
What's going on?
crazy. Um, crazy thing to
What are you
say.
guys doing in there?
It's so crazy that JR like brings it up later, like on
Which I love.
commentary, which I was
Again,
just like, absolutely, JR, do not let them live that down because
please.
that's crazy. Um, and Bret Hart comes through with like the he just like it was such a like a showstopper of a way to end the interview. He's like, you want to know what the bottom line is? And then he just looks at the camera. He's like, who's crying now? And you're like,
Ah,
oh, so good,
oh,
so
it's so
good.
good.
Because as we know, Stone Cold for weeks has just been calling out Bret Hart, calling him a crybaby. He's always crying about this, that, everybody screwed me, blah blah blah. And just it was just the how nonchalantly he said it. He was just like, who's crying now? Like, oh, what, you don't like it when it's you? Like,
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh,
Ouchies.
right, right, right,
The am-
right.
and honestly, like the amount of times that Stone Cold has assaulted Bret Hart backstage, it's like I'm just giving you a taste of your own medicine.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
That's
mm-hmm.
it. That's all. And literally the whole time during this promo or this interview, and Bret Hart's just sitting there like this, little
Just
smile on his face, just
just
cool as a
waiting.
cucumber. And then when he gets it, he just the who's crying now? Done. Walks out. Oh
Right.
God,
He's
just
like, I was like, damn,
kill
that's good.
shot.
I
That's
I really
good.
liked I just thought Bret looked on all fronts like a heel in this.
Yes,
Like I think
100%.
like I think up to this point, I kind of just felt like he was just kind of like play like playing the part, like I didn't know if he actually believed it, because he's just for so long been such a like man of the people, so
Yeah,
it's hard to like dislodge that mental image. But this was
yeah.
like the first time, like as soon as he hit me with that, who's crying now, and you're like, oh, okay. And
Period.
like it was just like, oh, okay, he means it now. I like
I
that.
bought it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I, as we all know, really struggled with letting go of Bret Hart as
Hmm.
a baby face. Um, I really was having trouble with Bret Hart becoming a heel. It like really hurt my feelings. I was like really tore up about it. This is the first episode where I was like, oh, actually, Bret Hart as a heel, kind
Love.
of delightful.
Kind of delightful. I kind of love it.
Kind of obsessed. I mean,
Hmm.
he first of all, y'all know how I feel. He's fine. I think he's so fine. I don't know what it is about him.
Mm.
He is so fine. And now that he's mean, of course, I'm like, sold. Pick me up.
Tell me less.
I'll be outside. Pick me up.
No, but
Like I,
there's just, I always like the bad guys more. Like they're just more interesting. They will
yeah,
always, in any scenario, any media, like the bad guy will always be the more interesting character, like
yeah,
without fail. Because there's only so many. There aren't the like moral constrictions as far as like what you can do and how you can behave and what you can
mm-hmm,
say.
mm-hmm,
So like just being the bad guy just like opens the door to so much more chaos, and I love it.
yeah. He can, like we say all the time. There's more places to move. There's more
Hmm.
motion. There's more like expansion. There's just like more to
Right.
do there.
Hmm.
This episode like really sold me. Like you said, I feel like he sold it to himself, and then like I really believed him. I was like,
Right.
oh, but
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
also I love a villain. Now I'm like tangenting, but I love a
No.
villain where you question things because
Hmm.
in the match at some point And the preface, the way it was sold to us was like, so he helps the ref up. Like Stone Cold knocks the ref over and he like helps the ref get up. And like the preface is that so like he can call the match when he like beats Stone Cold. But also you're like, like I love those that blur the lines.
Right.
Blurring the lines is really like in between villain, hero, anti-hero, like those are really my favorites. And like he really
he's really straddling that line like right now.
and I like it. I really, really like it.
Something I forgot to mention, it was announced that because Stone Cold was attacked, that Gorilla Monsoon was kind of going to rearrange the order of events for the rest of the pay-per-view, in that we're going to have our like true main event next, to allow Stone Cold time to become a person before having to go wrestle. So we have the WWF Championship match, which is just, it is truly insane.
Super
As
crazy.
we know, we have not physically seen the Undertaker since the Fireball incident weeks ago. Weeks and weeks and weeks ago. We've heard his voice, he's been around, we've heard his gong, but no Taker. So Mankind comes out with a, love to see it. Let the
My Undertaker
let the
shirt.
YouTube masses see the whole thing. The
How
many
cute.
faces of Taker.
I want to let you guys know that I searched long and hard for one that didn't have Paul Bear on it because I would never.
I would never. That's so
How
funny.
cute. Okay, sorry.
Love that, love that, love that. So Mankind comes out with a fire extinguisher, which is just kind of alarming.
Ominous. Yeah.
Right. You're just like, great.
Okay.
Hope you don't need that. Yeah. And then the Undertaker comes out and his eyes just like kind of like patched. He's taped up pretty good. And the fit he comes out in is like the fit that I like remember the Undertaker in as a kid. It is like that like two-piece like shouldered kind of situation. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's just so synonymous with me because that's what he is wearing in the Raw is War Nintendo 64 video game that I used to play as a child.
Oh, okay.
Which is, it's just like, that is the, like, when I think of the Undertaker, that's that's the Undertaker that I picture in my head.
I see.
If that
I
makes sense.
love that.
Mhm.
Happy for you.
Thank you, thank you. So this match is, of course, just completely unhinged. It's supposed to be just
Oh
a
my
normal
God.
match. It was a no disqualifications match,
Yeah.
essentially. Mankind was launched into the railing,
The guardrail. Yeah.
the guardrail twice. The first time was bad.
Real bad.
The second time
No.
was brutal because
Disgusting.
the Undertaker shoved him, but Mankind was further up than he was the first time. So it wasn't like his back landing into the rail, which sucks. Like, does not feel good. It was just the back of his head and neck just absolutely just smashing into the guardrail, and it looked just absolutely preposterous. It looked
Horrible.
crazy. They fight into the crowd. At one point the Undertaker grabs Paul before getting decked in the face by Mankind with the urn. Jerry has a funny line after that, in which he says that the Undertaker earned it, and you're like, ha ha ha, get it.
I got it. Because I made a face and Xavier's like, that one was good. I was like, I know. Fine.
Yeah, it was brutal. There was a glass pitcher used.
Glass pitcher broken into the face of Undertaker. That is
bonkers.
so crazy.
Mankind bends a steel chair over the Undertaker's face, essentially, which is crazy. And if it is the same steel chair they use in the Bret Hart Austin match, because you can still see the bent on it. It was pretty funny. It's just I was like, what are the odds you picked up the same chair?
The same chair, yeah.
We do finally get to see the burn on the Undertaker's face. Throughout the match, the covering starts to like come out, and it is not good. Like, he is
It's
like
really
legitimately burnt. like
and that was weeks of healing. Like,
Right.
it's been weeks, and it
Right.
still looks so
Charred.
crispy.
He looks charred. He looks like some down
Crispy.
home barbecue. It was
Ooh!
crazy. Like
He looks like, yeah, ribs. Oh.
yeah, I was just like, this man's face is sizzling. That's bonkers. The Undertaker gets subjected to two vicious pile drivers by Mankind, just dropped on his head. Uh, and then the poor referee gets squished. He
Real
gets,
bad.
yeah,
Yeah. Xavier,
real
this
bad.
tore you up. I'm not gonna lie. Because I was like, get out of the way. And Xavier was like, okay, he was pulled,
Uh,
and those are two gigantic men. Like, have a little
I was
sympathy.
because the reps out here trying to sell, and you're like,
I
move.
know.
You're
Well,
like, you're
because
like,
I
get out
got
of the way.
into it. I got into it, and I was like, get out of the way. Like,
He's in it, lady. He's part of the show.
and I was like, okay, fine, whatever. But Xavier's like, okay, first of all, he was pulled.
I'm out here just like defending his honor.
As
I
you
was
should, as you should. I was at really out of pocket. I'm sorry.
um
Sorry to that
so
man. I think who was it? I don't even know.
I think it was
It
Mike
was
Chioda.
I was gonna say Earl, but he does the last match.
Yeah, no, I think it was Mike Chioda, or at least the first one was Mike Chioda. The second one was I think Mike Chioda's replacement that also got flattened. So the Undertaker is subjected to the mandible claw. There's no referee though, so Mankind really did himself dirty on that.
Mhm.
Uh, but the thing is, when a referee did arrive, Mankind just puts the new referee in the mandible claw, and you're like, what he
Why?
do? What he do? Like,
Yeah, for what?
uh,
The guy comes in, he's like, okay, and then he's like, like
like okay,
immediately choked and thrown out of the ring.
and you're like, what a way? What could you imagine
How do
being
you
like,
even hire refs these days? Who would do this job?
I would. I would love to do this job.
Explains.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. So there's no referee. Mankind goes outside, grabs the steel steps, or at least the first half of it, and in which case the Undertaker drop kicks the steps into Mankind's face, which is
I don't
thoroughly
even know how that
impressive because
happened.
he's 7 feet tall.
Hmm.
And then hits him with a vicious chair shot. It was just like so loud and brutal,
It
brutal, brutal.
was heinous.
Mankind loses his mask in this one.
Ugh.
So yeah,
Mm-mm.
Mankind does that thing where he like traps himself in the ring ropes between the top and middle rope around his neck. Only this time, when the Undertaker goes to like release him, the mask comes off with it, which is a first. Which they do a pretty good job of hiding his face the rest of the match. So shout out to the cameraman on that one. Not that it's like government secrets. He wrestled,
With
without a
ECW.
mask in
Yeah.
ECW and in WCW, so it's not like people don't know what he looks like.
Hmm.
But if you are a strict WWF audience, you really don't. So,
Yeah, I didn't even think of that until you said it because I at this point know who Mick Foley is. So I'm like,
mhm,
it's not shocking to me. But
right.
yeah, the mask came off, a chunk of his hair came off. Like I just you heard the rip of the
Mm,
mask and the hair. It was great. Not that the hair ripping is anything new to
right.
him. He had already ripped off a few chunks before,
Right.
but it was brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. I
Yeah.
hate when he
And
does
what's
that.
next is even crazier.
Yeah, no.
So, the Undertaker Mankind is on the ring apron, just collecting himself after the assaults he's been through. The Undertaker grabs the ring steps that Mankind brought into the ring, proceeds to get a running start, knocks into Mankind. Mankind then launches head first through an announce table. Like,
No.
just I have never seen someone go like through a table. He looked like he was Greg Louganis. He was just diving in. Like it was crazy. I was not expecting it. It looked just absolutely painful because like he's just like stuck in a table,
In the table.
just hanging upside down whilst getting like splintered all the way around, and just it looked absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
And
because the table didn't like break. Like he literally went through in like a hole, like
yeah,
into it seemed physically impossible for your eye to accept it. I was like, this cannot be real. Like that he has literally just made a hole into the table with his head.
right,
His
right.
head.
Mm,
So crazy.
So Undertaker after that point pretty much makes quick work of Mankind. He gets a choke slam. Mankind kicks out, hits the tombstone. That's that on Mankind.
Yeah. I
Because
literally
that,
wrote Undertaker basically kills Mankind and wins.
yeah, because you have to. That is the
Only way to
thing.
explain it.
You have to basically put this man on his like last breaths, and then you might pick up a victory.
Yeah, life support, and then you got it.
So Taker wins. He retains the title. We're moving on with Undertaker as our champion. We love to see it.
Love to see.
We do get the namesake of the pay-per-view, Taker's Revenge. So Undertaker finds this, I guess, rogue fireball that was brought into the ring by Mankind and Paul Bear, hence the fire extinguisher. And the Undertaker gets his hands on Paul. He gets Paul right up in the corner. He throws him in the ring. Paul is understandably shitting a brick, as he should. Undertaker just, he fumbles with the lighter a little bit, but again, it's live. It's live.
It's live television.
So yeah, and then he just turnabout's fair play. He just fireballs Paul right in the face.
Right in
Right
the
in the
face.
face. It was A1. I thought it was great.
Thrill. I have so many feelings about this. I hate Paul Bear so much. And when the match ended and he turned to Paul and went to put the paws on him, the thrill in my body was surreal. And brings him into the ring. This is crazy though, because Mankind goes to like defend Paul by lighting him up. Some Undertaker punches him in the kisser and takes the fireball, lights up Paul. But like, it was so crazy. It was such a huge flame. I'm like, how are they doing this to each other? Like, I've already seen Undertaker. His whole face is still scarred. Like, Paul is just, he's got I mean, this is a nice way possible. He's got a lot of real estate. It's a lot of face to light up. Like, really, really scary. And then he immediately like pulls his coat over himself. He's like shrieking. Mankind has to like carry him out basically, but Undertaker is standing there and he's literally looking at his hands and he's like, what have I done? Like he mouths that like over and over again, like, what have I done?
Right.
Which I have a lot of feelings about because one, I don't want this to be suddenly like a I'm sorry, Paul. If this is an I'm sorry, Paul, I'm gonna be so sad.
Hurt.
Your reaction is scaring me because like
we have a
you're
whole
so deadpan. I'm scared.
We have a whole lot coming as far as Undertaker and Paul is concerned. I will say we have a while, like years and years, before we get a true reunion of the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was about to be like, if he goes back and there's a little I'm so sorry, come on back.
I cannot say
I know
if there is or isn't, mostly because I don't remember. But I do know that by the end of the year that we are on, they will be on other sides again. So don't fret. Just remember, it's all for the story. It's all for the story.
I know. I just like there's just like, did I want his face to be set ablaze? Actually, yes. You know what? Yeah, I did. So whatever. That's it. That's the end. I don't know. Like, don't.
Sorry to say it.
You've been messing with me for so long. You've been messing with me for so long, and then you did this little tease with the you can come back a lot. Let me like beg for your forgiveness, la la la, and then Mankind lights me your face on fire. No, screw you. I'm lighting your face up. That's it. Whatever. You know what? I take back everything I said.
All I can think of is that Fall Out Boy song, like light 'em up.
I'm on fire.
Yeah. Just that has been playing in my head, and I shit you not, since we started this segment.
No. Oh my, I thought you were gonna say since Undertaker was lit up last time, and I was like a whole month. Xavier's been waiting to drop this line.
No, God.
Just
If
5
I
minutes.
work on something for a month,
That's impossible.
I better have like doubled over laughter. I will accept nothing less.
I better be have like literally a ruptured diaphragm from laughing.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like
Mm.
if I'm workshopping a joke for a month,
It better kill you.
that's what I'm saying. So
Oh wait, this isn't even the end of the pay-per-view.
no, no, we're not even done. So we have another backstage segment with Doc and the Hitman, and basically Brett's just like, I'm just gonna cripple everybody so that you all know that I was no fooling when I said best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. And you're like, all right, sissy, go off.
I swear, he ate up the promos tonight. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
He chomped. Like it's so good.
I
I love
agree.
heel Bret Hart.
I
Sorry, I'm on
agree.
the train. I'm on the
I'm on the
train. Here I
train. I
go.
love
I'm
that.
I'm a flip flopper, except when it comes to Paul Bear. But I am a flip flopper. I don't care.
I love
I'm
it. I
on the
love it.
train. I'm here. Choo choo. Let's go.
Let's go. So, our now main event is Bret the Hitman Hart taking on Stone Cold Steve Austin. So when the Hart Foundation comes down to the ring, they are pretty much immediately stopped at the bottom of the ramp by a just slew of personnel, basically just being like, "You think we're gonna let you just like hang out here now after that? That's crazy.
That's really
You must be out your gourd if you think
after you
you're coming to
assaulted
just
someone in the men's room.
yeah, and just decided to just be like, we're just here to hang. Nobody, nobody believes you.
That's my
Um,
brother. I'm gonna support him. Yeah, by hitting Stone Cold with a chair, presumably.
a man. So they are sent to the back because that's exactly what should happen. Also, because Gorilla Monsoon is out and about, and he that's where the buck stops. So
Yeah. I feel like Gorilla Monsoon like low key really really loves Stone Cold.
just saying.
I'm just saying because he was in the locker room when he was hurt, and I know that he was supposed to be there because he was supposed to be like the only person that knows how Stone Cold is feeling is Stone Cold. Like, so if he wants to fight, that's his business. But then
Right.
he was sitting, and it was like again told to us like he's there to make sure like nobody interferes, which like it doesn't work. But he's literally sitting like in the most precarious
Yeah.
place during the
He's
match, like just at the bottom of one of the stairs, basically.
yeah, and you're just like, no, baby. I was like, you should know better. You
Yeah,
wrestled.
you should really know better, seriously, and put Gorilla Monsoon on the announce table or the commentary table or something.
Yeah, he used to do commentary.
So,
He
put him
used to
over
be
there.
yeah, he used to be like one of the main commentators. He used to be him and Bobby the Brain. Like they used to
Oh,
that used to
sure.
be the commentary team for the WWF, like before it was Vince and Jerry, and then later Jerry and JR.
I love that.
Hmm.
Put him over there. He was sitting
Yes,
just on a folding chair, just right at the bottom of one of the stairs. Like,
just willy nilly. You could have got him one of the cushy seats at the table.
that's what I'm saying. So I was like, did he want to like be close enough to like feel Stone Cold sweat or like what's the tea?
I'm probably not, but like he probably
Yeah,
was
I'm
just
like,
like they're gonna try some shit, so let me just
I
go around.
know.
So
They just
this
seem like they're
match,
together a lot. I don't know.
I'm just saying. Well, I mean, you got to protect your star. Like
So true. So
he's the
true.
money
So true.
maker. So this match is the two of them are just incapable of having a bad match.
Oh God, so true.
It's just
Amen.
every time that the two of them have been together, they've absolutely knocked it out of the park. And I will
Amen.
say, it was following the match that they had at WrestleMania 13, which is just to this day like lauded as like just like one of the like top tier matches ever. So to
Mm,
have to follow that is not an easy task.
it's
Not an
so
easy task
true.
at all, and especially considering that that match also had both of them turn. So like we now have to like essentially have to kind of one up that match in its own capacity, but you also have to make sure that you're continuing everything that was kind of laid out in that match.
Mm-hmm.
So we get kind of like the callbacks to, and this is JR just being good at his job. When he's talking about like Austin in certain like situations where he's like, well, he might just pass out from the pain. We've seen that before. Like just reminding you all that like Austin didn't lose that match because
Right.
he gave up. It was his body gave up. So,
Right.
it 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 was a tall order, this match. So, and it was phenomenal. So Stone Cold is basically all over Bret, like white on rice. He's really trying to get his, like, in the earlier part of the match, really trying to get his licks in because
Mhm.
he's a wounded animal at this point. Like, he knows that he is fighting an uphill battle. We'll put it that way.
Mhm. Mhm.
He's knocking Bret into the steps. My favorite is at some point Stone Cold just goes back into the ring after he like knocks Bret down, like comes in and just does the like Bret Hart like thing and just like flips him off after. You're just like, you are such a prick.
I
Like
love it.
I know it is phenomenal, but it's just like it is such prick behavior. You know what I mean?
Fully. And he had just like I it's one of those things where someone like points it out to you and you don't realize how silly it looks until somebody else imitates it. And then you're like,
Hmm.
it is kind of silly he does that. And that just
Right.
made me giggle. Like,
Hmm.
and he has this like he has this like really great smile. I love Stone Cold. Like
Hmm.
his like little like smile of just like, isn't so stupid? And he just goes like and then he's like it's just so amazing. Like he
Yeah.
is so expressive.
Hmm.
Like I just love it. And that's why I was thinking about the fact that we talked a long time ago about the fact that people think he wouldn't be a star because he was just like, I wear just all black and I
Hmm.
am who I am or whatever. He doesn't need to do
He doesn't need
anything
it.
other than be himself. Like he is so expressive, like with his face, with his body language, with his vocabulary. Like he doesn't need all this like pomp and circumstance. Like he is the pomp and circumstance. Like he
Yes.
is so engaging just
As
facially,
is.
physically, like
Hmm.
verbally. Like he just is incredible.
And it's just the way like every move is like all in.
Yes.
It is committed all of the way. He does not half-ass anything. He
Nope.
throws himself like at Bret for
Sells.
like an elbow, like to drop an elbow on it. He jumps and drops the elbow. You know, like there is no like wasted motion, and it is all
Mm.
very how do I want to describe it? It is everything's so intentional, and the payoff that it has with the crowd is how you know it's working.
Fully.
Because as has been like discussed last week in our interview, many times in things like documentaries, we like wrestling fans will tell you when they don't like it. Like
Yep.
they will tell you immediately right then and there. And
Yep.
they just eat everything he does up because it's so good.
Yep.
It's just done so well and so he's just so entertaining that you can't even it he's the good guy, you love him. He's the bad guy, you love
You
him.
love
He's the
him.
anti-hero, you
You
love
love
him.
him.
There's just something about him that you're just like, you're cool. Like you're just a cool dude.
Yeah. And it's cool to watch this from my perspective, only knowing like kind of the figure of Stone Cold
Right.
and learning through watching, he is like 100% achieves the hype. Like he measures up to the hype around
Hmm.
him.
Right.
Where I was like, yeah, I mean, like we'll say, like literally
Right.
every wrestler that I have seen so far has like completely surpassed like my expectations of what I thought they would be. And I'm not
Mm.
even like trying to like BS it right now. Like Undertaker is so much
Right.
more fascinating, mysterious, cooler than I ever thought his character could be. And like Stone Cold measures up to his reputation for
Right.
me at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Like it's really crazy to watch his genesis and be like, oh no, this like there's a reason he has such star caliber that
Right.
he has. Like
No,
it's
I agree.
wild to have the reputation back it up, you know?
And I think they're doing a good job of like building him as far as
Yes.
like it they're not like overhyping him on the mic for where he
Fully.
is.
A
You know what I
hundred
mean?
percent. Yeah.
They're
Totally.
very much so like acknowledging that like he is on the rise. And
Yes.
that goes a long way for the viewer at home because it does give you a little bit of grace if something doesn't go like whatever. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, oh, like he's on the rise, like he's on his
True.
way up, like he's not gonna have everything like figured out. But when you're on the top, everyone expects you P's, Q's, like 5-star matches, this, that,
Yeah.
like So
Very true.
because he's like in the chase of it all, like he has a little bit more room to really ascend. So it's fun.
That is such a good point.
So I don't even know where we go with this match. This match is absolutely insane.
It's just so crazy. I mean, there's like figure fours off the Bret Hart's new thing. There's because Bret Hart really goes for like the knee. This whole because Stone Cold's got that brace, he gets to rehab it,
Yeah,
whatever. So Bret Hart obviously goes for the knee to try and take him out because that's what you
that's
do.
his bread and butter.
Yeah,
And I love that the figure four around the ring post has become just synonymous with like heel Bret. That's like heel Bret's thing.
love,
Um,
love it.
because it just makes sense. Like as far as like a psychology point of like the match, it's just like we know Stone Cold got injured in that like four-way match between him, Undertaker, Vader, and Bret Hart. So we know he got hurt there. We know that he started wearing a brace shortly after that. We know that Bret likes to do the pick a body part and go to town.
Hmm.
And the way that it was like escalated with violence as far as like taking the knee brace off, like it just elevated more and more that like each thing that he did was a more like, ooh, like that looks like it hurts. I don't
Yeah.
like that.
Mm-mm.
Like so, and that's just the kind of wrestler that Bret is because like he's not the overtly like flashy what as far as like the ring work goes,
Yeah.
but he's just so militant in what he's like. I
That's a
have a game
great
plan and I'm
word.
gonna achieve it. Like I'm gonna go. That's my game plan. That's my game plan. That's my game plan. And it like he doesn't stray. Like at no point did he like do something else. You know what I mean?
So
Like it was
true.
always on the knee. Like and that's just kind of like that's the psychology of Bret. You know, it's just like target there blinders and you're
Target
like
acquired. Yeah.
yeah, and you're like, okay, like, but and that's just such a cool like juxtaposition because like Austin is so expressive, and so just like I'll hurt you any which
Mm-hmm.
way I can get my hands on you, I'm gonna do it. Where
Mm-hmm.
it's Bret is very like, this is what I am doing, this is what I came in with.
That's he has like a strategy. Like
Always
he's the excellence of execution. He's gonna
exactly
execute your knee.
right, fully.
So
So
good.
we get after the figure four leg lock, we get chair shots to Stone Cold's knee.
Mm-mm.
Uh Bret's just going nuts on his knee essentially for like I want to say like 10 minutes easily. Austin low blows Bret, which is just really it looked bad.
Really
It
bad.
looked like it
Really
hurt.
bad. Mm-hmm.
And this is crazy because we're finally like towards the end of the match. Bret Hart looks like he's going to perform a sharpshooter on Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold picks up the knee brace that has just been like strewn about, smashes Bret in the head with it, and then
Mm-mm.
puts on his own sharpshooter. He's like,
I love
I
it.
love I love when wrestlers do that, where they put on like the person that they're fighting, like move, where it's just so insulting. You know what I mean? It is
Yes.
just so
I love it.
like I think so little of you that I think I can beat you with your own move, and I love that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the of course, the Hart Foundation makes their way back out, attacks Stone Cold, gets the disqualification victory. Austin gets the disqualification victory. Bret Hart loses, but it allows the Hart Foundation to just be who they are.
You knew it
Uh,
was coming.
Oh, absolutely. There was no way they were gonna just like hang out back there. Okay. Bret
Yeah.
Hart goes and grabs the ring bell after they've been laying the smackdown on Austin. Austin hits Bret with a chair as Bret's like swinging down to hit him with the bell. It was so great. The timing of it was just so like spot on
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because you really thought like Bret was going to like follow through with it. You really
Mm-hmm.
didn't think that Austin had much to do about it.
Yeah.
So he hits him with the chair and then puts him in another sharpshooter because like why not?
Why
Because like
not?
why not? It takes five people to finally forcefully remove Austin from Bret. And this, I like the commentary on the end of the match where JR is just like these are the casualties of war. Like look around. Like look how
The drama.
yeah, I live for it. I really, really do. And then at the end of the pay-per-view, it is Stone Cold standing tall while the Hart Foundation kind of takes a wounded Bret to the back. So we
Mhm.
know Austin's hurting, we know Bret's hurting, and we got fireballs to everybody's face. So
Yep. I mean,
it,
what a thrill.
this one was wild. First of all, I'm glad that we're back on track.
Yeah,
We're back on
totally.
course. Um and I liked that this pay-per-view was like shorter.
Mm.
Like we recently in today's time just had a backlash in France for WWE, and it was a very similar uh structured, I guess, pay-per-view where it was just like 5 matches, 3 of them title matches. It was fairly short as far as like pay-per-views go nowadays.
Mhm.
But I would rather have less matches that are more thought out than a bunch of matches that you have to then try and like figure out as the show goes, because something
Mm.
goes too long, you have to cut something blah blah blah. But if there's only going to be 5, then you know that each one's going to be able to have a half an hour or whatever you're doing. um and you get to have those kinds of situations where you have like the false finish in the first match, and you have like the whole nation continuing on with Ahmed Johnson and like the next one. Like you can take those liberties when you have the actual time
Mhm.
to do it. So
Mhm.
I did like the structure of that in that regard. I would have, if we're fantasy booking, I would have cut Rockabilly,
Thank you.
Jesse James, and replaced it with Triple H and Goldust,
Period. 'Cause
because I
what
wanted to know more. I want to know.
and why I'm sorry, why are we debuting Rockabilly at a pay-per-view at an In Your House? Raw is War on Monday night is fine. You can
Right,
debut him then. I don't need to
right,
see him in a pay-per-view spot. I'm sorry. I don't care. I want to see Triple H and Goldust feud. They've had a feud for so long now. Marlena has almost died 4 times.
right.
Like
And
I
China's out here just mean mugging. She hasn't said a
yeah,
word yet.
I
Like,
need
let's
to see
go.
she hasn't said a word yet. Like, bring that to the pay-per-view. That's what I wanna
That's
see.
intrigue.
That's intrigue, that's something I wanna that's what I wanna see. I
That's what
don't
I'm saying. I don't want Hokey Town 3000. I'm good.
think
Thank
I
you.
don't wanna see the dance move that's not a real dance move, I don't wanna see it. Like,
Mhm.
debut it tomorrow, that's fine, I'll be ready. Like, I could see it
Mhm.
then, I'll be a little bit like, my adrenaline will have come down a little bit, and I'll be more peaceful about it, but today I was enraged. I don't wanna see that. Yeah, Triple H
Right.
Goldust would have been
Mm.
absolutely, agree.
Uh all right, guys. So that has been this edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. Look out for After Dark this week. We are going to have our second guest of the podcast. We are going to be joined by professional wrestler Robert Martyr, and he has suggested, I believe, 5 matches for us to watch. So we're gonna talk to him about his career, why he chose the matches he chose, and just I'm gonna chit chat about
Gonna
wrestling. We
chit
love to
chat.
see it.
So
Uh,
exciting.
so exciting. Thank you all so much for the very kind reception on our first interview with Woody. That's been very well received. Thank you so much. Thanks again
Yeah.
for Woody and
Yeah,
Suplex Vintage Wrestling
I was gonna
for
say thanks,
um,
Woody.
taking the time and just being very, very supportive of what we're doing here. And
So nice.
so
So
nice
kind.
and across the board. Much appreciated. And yeah, that's that on that. We'll see you later this week.
We will see you there.
Bye.
Bye.